It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. We got Pub Talk All-Stars today. 2 fantastic beers coming up for you. We also have some baseball talk, finally. It's October, postseason baseball. The wild card and the divisional round are now done. We have college football talk of Week 7, NFL recap of 4, 5, and 6 to catch back up, and hops of the week to finish it all off. But before we begin, we want to thank our sponsor at Route 11 Chips. It's football season, and it's going strong. And you're going to need some chips to throw your big party or just by sitting by the TV and watching some good football. But, of course, we want to make sure that you know that Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, they've been chipping away to give our consumers a tasty and good product. So make sure that you stop by your local Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant to pick up a bag today. All right, lights, beer, action. Welcome back to Pop Talk.
I like it. I do. I love that freaking.
I hope it gets them hyped up. I really do, because that's why I chose it. Welcome back to Pub Talk, brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Coach and CJ are back in the pub, and we are drinking. Of course, football is on. It's Sunday night, and the primetime game may not be the best of what's about to come up, the Steelers and Chargers, but we're having a good time. We're watching the Jets play the Cowboys right now, and the Jets are winning, actually. The 0-4 Jets.
Did you hear me clapping out loud when you just said that? Did you hear me clapping?
Yeah, I'm clapping too because fuck the Cowboys. It's Pub Talk All-Star time, though, to start the show off. We're going to start off with Star Hill Brewery again. We got a lot of the Love Wheat beer at the store. I went and got a lot of them, so it's back on the All-Star list today.
You know, you can get that at Martin's.
You can?
Yeah, you don't have to go to the Better Beer Store. Martin's sells
I'm sure
that.
it's cheaper, though, at the Better Beer Store.
It could be. Yeah.
I know there was only a couple of these for like $5 maybe, so it was really cheap. And then on the other side of the table, on Coach's side, we have
Fancy Clancy
from Escutcheon Brewing,
the Fancy Clancy Pilsner from Escutcheon Brewing here in Winchester, Virginia. We'd had on one of our first shows, we had the John Riggins 4th and 1 Pilsner.
One of the best beers I've ever had.
Which was a great beer. Well, the contract with Escutcheon ran out on that, and then they got a beer vendor down at Camden Yards, and they made him one, and they call it Fancy Clancy, and I'll tell you what, very similar in taste and everything. Oh, yeah, very good beer. Yeah, I enjoy it.
The can color
and
is
you can
just
hear
different,
this, fans, as I sample.
I really sprayed everywhere, but
that's all right.
That's all right. Yeah,
I'll yell
okay.
at the bartender, and he'll come and get us.
Okay, but it is October, which the big 4 sports are, of course, for professional sports now playing. But I think the most dominant one is, of course, postseason baseball, okay? This is October baseball. Yeah. The wild card round and the divisional round have come and gone.
Right.
And, we are down to 4 teams now
We
in
got
the
American
MLB.
League and National League Championship Series underway.
The pennant. On both sides.
Nats. How about them fucking Nats, man? 2-0 in the NLCS. Take down the mighty Dodgers.
They were clinging on their heels back in friggin' August. And when we went to go see them at the end of July against the Dodgers, they looked horrible.
Yeah,
like,
really
I
saw a post by some person, I can't remember where I saw it, whether it was on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, one of my friends, and he said at one point within the first 50 games of the season, the Nats were 19-31, and everybody was like, oh, ho-hum, here we go. It's the Nats.
We'll support our team, but it's not going to be a good season.
Our season's starting off, and now, look at them. They've made it the farthest since 1924, going back to the Washington Senators.
Oh, my God.
It's been a long time.
And not just that, they're up 2-0 in the series right now against the Cardinals.
Right.
They're and it's coming back to Washington D.C.
I can't imagine though. I think when I look back at it, I think that I think the Braves were probably a better team and couldn't prove it, and that happens a lot. And that's how the Cardinals got in. And the Nats are the same thing. The Dodgers, who had 106 wins this year, they flat out clubbed the ball this year. I mean, They had a great season. They had great pitching. They were down the stretch. They were healthy. They should have won. They should have swept the Nats. This should not have been an issue, and they should be playing in their third consecutive World Series. But quite frankly, they just didn't get it done. They just did not get it done. It's fucking disappointing.
I want to talk about that real quick. Like, you as a Dodgers fan.
Yeah. I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to be a Nats fan. I'm ready to be a Nats fan.
I'm a Pirates fan, but seeing the way the Dodgers do this year in and year out,
yep, it's very frustrating.
Is it more frustrating to be a Dodgers fan than a Pirates fan, honestly? Because, like, the Pirates had the best record back in the second best record back in 2015. They lost in the wild card, but everyone was like, "Yeah, we made the playoffs for once." But ever since then, it's been going
they just
down.
It's
just gone downhill.
They got rid of him.
And then you have the Dodgers who make it year in and year out. The pennant, the World Series.
Yep.
And it's just not consistent. They haven't won it. They haven't.
Right. I know.
Is it more frustrating to be a Dodgers fan than it is a freaking Pirates fan, honestly?
Winning begets fans. And so I think at the end of the day, you have a fan base of the Dodgers that's just massive. I think.
By the way, I think the Cardinals just beat the Falcons. By the way,
I think fans like winners. Because when you look at the overall attendance for a season, the Dodgers consistently rank at the top.
More than the Angels, of course, because even they're in L.A., yeah.
Oh, my, yeah. Yeah. But I'm ready to jump ship. I'll be honest with you, and I hope my fans don't hear this, but I'm telling you.
Eat shit,
I'll
Coach.
tell you what. When I watched this series, and I watched a great deal of it. I didn't watch every inning, but I watched a lot of it. And there are three guys in that lineup: Rendon, Soto, and freaking Howie Kendrick. Howie Kendrick is a freaking. How good of a hitter is he? Rendon doesn't look like he's even trying, and he's just flat out just crushing the ball.
Isn't he 20 years old though? Or is that no, that's Soto. Soto is freaking 20 years old.
Anthony Rendon got his money, and I'm so happy that he got his money because he's a class act. He is like a vacuum cleaner with his glove, and then when he gets to the plate, he just makes things happen. And I think that's special in today's sports. He reminds me a lot of I don't know. I don't want to say it, but he reminds me a lot of Turner from the Dodgers. Justin Turner is not an overly flashy guy. He goes out there and he'll help you manufacture runs with his bat, and he'll help you play defense with his glove. And I see a lot of that with Anthony Rendon, and I really appreciate that out of him. And Howie Kendrick played with the Dodgers. In fact, I think he actually struck out the last time they were in the World Series. He struck out to end the series against Boston last year.
I want to say, he was the last player.
I feel fantastic for him. He was nothing but a great player. Coach Hall, we were talking about it. Coach Hall calls him a professional hitter, and I'm like, Bill, they're all professional hitters. They all play baseball. But he never gets cheated at the plate. So I'll just go there. And so I don't know. I think I'm going to have two. I'm going to have two teams, and they could both be from the freaking National League. I hope they never play each other again. But I love going to freaking Nat Stadium. I love it. It's a great place to watch a game. And so I think I'm probably going to be a big fan of the Nats now.
Okay, well, you have.
I think I am. I just like what they do.
And it's great to be here in Virginia, seeing the fan support right now.
Yeah.
Because we went through last year with the Capitals winning the Stanley Cup. It was massive.
Oh,
the parade,
huge.
if they win this thing, it's going to be huge again.
Oh, my goodness.
And so it's great to see it here in Virginia.
Yep.
Let's go with the other NL team. The Braves, they lost 13-1 in Game 5 of the ALDS.
Yeah, it was 10-0 in the first. Yeah,
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke when I saw it. I thought Excuse me again. I thought it was a joke. And the Braves gave up 10 runs, and it was over right then and there. In the Game 5, Brian McCann, after the game, said, I'm done. I'm retired. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Because, you want to put up a fight. You're the number one team in the NL. The second behind the Dodgers. And you fall to the Cardinals in Game 5 without even putting up a fight. Not just laying on the ground, basically, in the first inning.
They did. They laid an egg. Atlanta played well. pretty much all season. I feel bad that they had to go out like that. I really do. I really feel bad for a team when you see how well they played. I mean, they won 97 games. They're almost at 100 games. It's been a long time. They were the freaking Nats were 4 games behind them.
Yep.
In the standings, 4 games behind them, and look where they're at.
But it's just a disgraceful showing in the last game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you want to say that, but at the same time, it's not like these guys went out there and intentionally laid an egg. Sometimes the game gets away from you. It got away from them fast, and it's terrible to say, but the Braves were probably 5 or 6 games better than the Cardinals, and they let them get away.
Yep. And on the other side now, we got a couple more minutes on baseball. The Yankees swept the Twins, who hit. Why they didn't even put? They got swept. They didn't even put up a fight, and they hit one less home run than the Yankees did this year. Yeah. Yankees hit 307, Twins hit 306, and the Twins didn't even show up. And now you got a pinstripe pennant coming up.
Your mother always
against the Astros
calls me on this stuff, but I'm telling you what, the Yankees and the Astros.
It's going to be a good matchup.
I don't know if there's a weak bat in the lineup. I really don't. I think they're both whoever's pitching against the Astros and whoever's pitching against the Yankees, they're both facing murderer's row. You're talking about teams that just freaking hit for average and power. So whoever comes out of this has to be the odds-on favorite. I think the Cinderella story, the whole Cinderella story,
is the Nationals.
It's got to be the Nats.
And could you imagine if we saw a Nationals-Yankees freaking World Series?
That would be
this
really
place
good.
would go insane because I know Biff is a Yankees fan, and he would lose his mind if they lost.
Who's that again?
Biff is a Yankees fan.
Who?
Biff.
Oh.
What?
No.
If you're listening here, Biff, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, Daniel.
All right.
I love you, son.
Baseball talk is done for now. We'll be back next week.
Yeah,
it'll be World Series time, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or it may not be. Who knows? College football talk. I'll get into it later of why I'm liking college football more. I'll get into it, and it's actually because of currently what is happening on the screen right now with a little yellow sign on the side of the screen there.
Well, he hit him early. You look at that.
I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it later.
It was terrible defense.
I'll talk about it later. It's not that play in particular. I'll talk about it later. But college football, this was the best
I got 3
week
hops of the week, by the way.
I got 2. So, yeah, I got 2. This is the best week of college football yet because it displayed who belongs as the powerhouses of the FBS right now. It shows who belongs in that top 10 and top 5 because the standings have completely changed, except for Alabama, of course. They're number 1. LSU jumps up to number 2 after manhandling Florida in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But that's because Florida didn't have enough firepower and they got a backup quarterback in as their starting quarterback. And then you have Clemson dropping down to number 3. They haven't lost yet, but they're still dropping down because LSU looks that freaking good right now. They do.
Tell you what, they are very, very tough. Their freaking defense just flies around. I mean, they fly around.
And here in a couple of weeks, they're going to go to Tuscaloosa. It's going to be in Alabama. That they're going to have to go.
It's going to be a good one.
So it'll be a good one. Another one that I want to talk about is this team does not get enough fucking love. It is the Wisconsin Badgers.
I got them right here.
They do not
look at my comment on my sheet. The real deal.
They are the real freaking deal, man. They have such a beautiful and big offensive line. And Jonathan Taylor
I love that
and Jack
2 tight
Cohn
end, 3 tight end look and stuff.
Yep.
Jeez.
And they run bunch heavy sets. They do everything in their power to wear down the defense. They shut out Michigan State 38-0. And guess who they are going to play here in 2 weeks? They are going to play Ohio State.
That's just who I dropped onto my shit list was Michigan State. They laid a big old turd.
Yeah, I'll have them probably on there, but I have some other teams on there, of course.
Yeah.
But they're going to play Ohio State here in 2 weeks, and Wisconsin. Don't sleep on the Badgers.
I don't think you can. I don't think there's any sleeping on them.
Because their
defense
is nice. Their defensive coordinator, Jim Leonard, former NFL defensive back for 10 years. He knows exactly what he's doing as the defensive coordinator. Don't sleep on the Badgers. Another team, the Penn State Nittany Lions. They are now number 7 in the country.
Yep.
They take down Iowa, and they're going to play Michigan this weekend.
You know, I had a question about them. You know, they got Michigan coming up, and I checked them out, and I thought to myself, they didn't look crisp. They weren't clean against Iowa.
I get what you're saying, but there was
Iowa's defense was pretty solid. They had a great
so was
plan
Penn
against
State's.
Yes, very much so. They played very fast.
And Sean Clifford threw some good balls that his receivers dropped last night.
He looked off kilter early. Like he just didn't feel settled in. And it's probably because, you know, it was his first big game. And when I say first big game, I'm talking about an opponent like Iowa. I don't know. I'm not saying he wasn't confident. I'm not saying he wasn't.
I don't know. I'm kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt here that his receivers dropped the balls a lot. That's just me.
Was it
That's
perfect?
only me.
No.
Hold on. The Cowboys are going for the tie.
The Cowboys are going for the tie. And
he's going to incomplete it.
Oh, there's going to be a flag. Oh, they're not going to call it. He was hanging on Jason Witten.
It's allowed 5 yards of contact for illegal contact.
He was hanging on him like he was freaking hanging a coat in the fucking closet,
okay,
CJ.
We will talk about it later.
Did he throw a noose over Jason Witten's neck? Look at him. He's hanging on him.
What else is he supposed to do, man? You mean I got to actually guard this guy?
Look, and then he flopped.
Put his arms up like danger.
Oh, you know
danger.
What? They had some middle pressure right there.
Yeah, well, back to college
football. That's a Greg Williams freaking specialty right there.
Hey, now they got it. But the thing is, the game ain't over. They got to get the onside kick right now. Yeah. That's the only thing for them. Or otherwise, they're going to lose to the 0-4 Jets right now.
Dude, San Francisco is putting it on the Rams.
It's 20-7, and that's the final score for them. We'll talk about NFL. Stop getting warmed up on NFL.
Well,
we got a lot to catch up on them.
Yeah,
but the Nittany Lions looked great. And
I wouldn't say great, but they got it
their
done.
Their defense looks fantastic.
They got it done against. I just think you cannot start slow in big games. You can't. They start slow next week against Michigan, and Michigan can put a freaking L on their freaking.
Yeah, but they got to come to the whiteout game.
I get all
Penn
that,
State.
but if you start
environment
slow,
does have a lot to do with these games.
I'll give you that. I mean, playing at home is supposed to have an advantage, but if you start slow, that's not good. It's just not good. So shut the fuck up.
All right.
It's just not good.
There you go. Texas and Oklahoma. What a fucking flop, dude, man. Like, I expected Texas to give up more of a showing from especially Sam Ehlinger, man. From especially him. Yeah. If you want to say, hey, Texas, we're back, and you lose to Oklahoma the next year and LSU, you can't say that without knowing that you were probably going to flop the next year because it has happened.
Oklahoma looked pretty good.
Their defense actually looked good yesterday, and I was so surprised. I couldn't believe it. And, yeah, Jalen Hurts, the fact that Texas calls themselves DBU should literally be like the movie Castaway. Because they're on their own little island out there thinking that that's what they are.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts looks like a very good quarterback. You know, people want to say it's the system that he's in, and Lincoln Riley's a genius for him. I don't care. I think Jalen Hurts has been a good quarterback his whole career. I think he has.
Yeah.
I liked him at Alabama. I really did. And the only reason he lost his job is because he really played bad one game. And that game so happened to be the national championship. But Jalen Hurts did it the right way in sitting behind Tua his junior year and sitting behind him and saying, look, I lost the quarterback battle. Tua's got it. I'm going to sit behind. And then this year he goes, I'm a senior. I want to play.
Right.
I know Tua's never going to give me the job back because he's Tua.
He's
so
good.
I want to go somewhere to play.
Yeah.
And Lincoln Riley called him up and said, hey, come on and be another Heisman for me 3 years in a row. I'll get my $1 million bonus. Come on now.
You know,
that's what happened.
He threw for 3 touchdowns. He didn't. It's not like it was big yardage. 230, 240 yards, something like that. 60% completion. Is rating 155.9? How do you not like that?
I know that's what I'm saying is that he did everything that he had some mistakes. I know that he had one bad fumble and an interception,
Yeah,
but he did pretty good though for the most part. And then, okay, that's all for those games. But Georgia, my God,
I did. That's up here.
Georgia lost
two of
to
those.
South Carolina. You lost to a team with cock in their name. Okay, that's how bad you just lost to a team like that.
You know what though? That goes back to the old saying, the age-old adage: you let a team hang around, and they just end up with the
didn't
upset.
have their starting quarterback for most of the game either. The Gamecocks didn't have their starting quarterback.
They played phenomenal defense. The last pick that I saw from Jake Fromm was not his fault. It went right through the dude's hands. I don't know. Number 3 goes down.
Absolutely. They go down, and guess what? They're probably not going to make the college football playoff now because with a loss like this, especially against an unranked team, that's not going to happen now. You got to put other teams in there.
There could be a big shakeup. There could be a big shakeup coming.
Oh, no question. Like I said, Clemson has dropped down to number 3, and they haven't even fucking lost. And LSU, even though they're putting up numbers, I'll talk about that game. LSU against Florida. After Florida looked very good against Auburn, they fought with LSU for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah.
But LSU just pulled ahead. They have that firepower to pull ahead, and they did it. Especially Joe Burrow, man. He's looking good right now, and he could be a front runner for the Heisman. But I don't like him for the Heisman. I don't. That's just me because everyone says, well, it goes to the best player in college football. Well, I don't think it's him. I don't think. Who do you got for the Heisman?
I don't know. I'd love to consider Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin.
That's who I got.
I think he's definitely good. But until something goes wrong with Tua Tagovailoa, I don't know if they're going to give it to anybody else. If I'll tell you this, if Oklahoma continues to win, how could
Jalen
you
Hurts has shown that he could be
How could you overlook him, right? So
I know, but and that's why I'm taking a shot in the dark here with Jonathan Taylor because last year he finished with 2,200 rushing yards and finished 9th in the Heisman race. Yeah. So it's hard for a running back to win it, even though Derrick Henry was able to do it.
So Joe Burrow was 21 of 24 for 293 and 3 touchdowns, of a rating of 231.3. He had a completion percentage of 87.5%. He pretty much made a statement.
That's hard to beat.
And that's a statement with a capital S. He just freaking did a great job.
All right, well, on to the final topic for...
Is there no baseball on? Why are we not?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that.
Yeah, why are we...
The final topic for college football, the shit list. Who you got on your shit list again?
Michigan State, number 1. Michigan State just disappointed me. They're disappointing me. Number 2 on my shit list, Nebraska. The Scott Frost era has thawed a little bit in my mind. They lost again this week. And I don't know. You're in the top 20, top 25 rating.
Is it on TBS or?
Probably 247.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, how the hell do you fall that quickly? Now, granted, not everybody on his squad are his recruits. This year, maybe his incoming freshmen are his recruits.
It doesn't start till 8 o'clock. That's what happens.
Well, let's put something on. Put something else on. Well, there's got to be something else on. But I don't know. I want to like them. I want to like Nebraska. I think it's a phenomenal place to watch a game. I think the tradition, the pageantry that is Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't want to see it like this. I want them to be better. Michigan State has lived their lives as a spoiler. You know, how many times have they stuck the knife into the heart of Penn State coming from behind or staying close and pulling it out against them?
Yeah, they did it 2 years ago when it looked like Penn State had a chance.
And now they go to Wisconsin, and granted, Wisconsin's a very good team, but they just got roached. They flat out got roached by them. So those are 2 teams on my shit list.
I got one. Mississippi State lost to Tennessee yesterday.
Hey, maybe Tennessee's getting better.
Jeremy Pruitt is not that good of a head coach, and he has brought a program that has fallen under, especially you fired Butch Davis because you thought you could do better. And look what has happened with Jeremy Pruitt. You're a laughingstock. But hey, you go, because especially you lose to Georgia State this year, but you go out and beat Mississippi State, a middle-of-the-pack SEC team. That's pretty damn embarrassing from you, Mississippi State, especially when you brought Tommy Stevens in from Penn State. You know he's a capable quarterback, and you put him in a system that he is familiar with Joe Moorhead, and you fail. You completely fail against Jeremy Pruitt and the Tennessee Volunteers. And I think you're on my shit list. You just have to be. If you lose to a team that is looking to fire its head coach, you just have to be. And another team, I actually just picked this up again. Another team on my shit list, Florida State. Florida State has
they've struggled. They have. I mean, they just have.
Yeah, but I don't like their head coach. I don't like Willie Taggart. He points blame at his players a lot of the time, and instead of blaming his own coaching, you got to be able to pick up some of the slack and say, "Hey, I'm part of the problem. It's not always my players." But instead, you blame the players. Well, guess what? Your offense fucking sucks. Okay, you have no communication on your offense. Justin Blackmon is out there struggling. He's throwing interceptions that he shouldn't, but you want to still blame the players, and instead of your offense trying to fix it, you just want to point blame at everybody else, and you don't point fingers at yourself and say, hey, we need to fix stuff, and I might need to fire some of my staff to get some different players. Yeah. I mean, to get some different people. So you're on my shit list.
I get that. How about off the shit list? Off the shit list? Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a team that they were on my shit list because I think that they're not that good of a 5-0 team, but they're actually 6-0 now, is Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
PJ Fleck up there.
Row that boat, bitch.
Row the boat. They are, hey, I don't care if they're one of the worst 6-0 teams in the country. They are doing great things up there in Minnesota by showing people, hey, we may not be ranked, but we're still undefeated. And I hope that you guys give us notice because I love what PJ Fleck is doing up there. And it's the row the boat, the hype video that I saw 2 years ago with him up there. Oh my God, it made me want to go play up in Minnesota, actually, because he's a good coach.
Not in the winter.
Hey, it's probably cold enough up there right now in Minnesota. But, yeah, they're on my shit list. I really am proud of Minnesota, and they're continuing to fight. They're not in the Big Ten, especially.
They're on your shit list, or
no, they're off? They're off.
I'll tell you mine. Baylor. 2 years ago in 2017, they were 1-11. In the wake of the Art Briles and all of that bullshit that went on down there.
It wasn't bullshit. It was for real.
You know what I mean? All of the turmoil that turned over. Not every player on that team was involved with any of that, but they were all lumped into it. And that program suffered. It
was like the death penalty, honestly, that was about to come down.
You know, there was a lot of stuff that happened. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't want to offend anybody and things like that. I mean, some ugly shit happened at that school. But there were a lot of guys on that team that didn't have anything to do with what was going on, and they got penalized for it. But what I'm saying is that they were 1-11, right? The next year, Matt Rule takes over. They go 7-6. And right now they're 6-0.
Yep.
They're getting back on.
Who knows? They may make it to the Big 12 championship game if they continue.
Well. I mean, they could end up playing Oklahoma. You know,
and who knows what you get? Because
how do you go from 1-11 to playing for a Big 12 championship?
Hey, I mean, you saw it with Scott Frost down at UCF. They went 0-12, and then they go and win a New Year's Six Bowl against Auburn. It is possible.
Yeah, it is, but I'm just saying, UCF didn't go through what Baylor's going through.
I know, yeah, that's very true. I completely forgot about that.
It's scary, but I watched him. When he was at Temple, I liked his methods, the things he talked about, and he is the glue that's holding Baylor football together right now. I made some notes on that. They were 1-11. 1-11 2 years ago, and now they're 6-0, pointed in the right direction. And if they can continue on this path, they're headed with a showdown to Oklahoma. And it absolutely would not surprise me if they beat Oklahoma in a Big 12 championship.
As of right now, it wouldn't, because I haven't watched much on Baylor because I just haven't even thought about them as a program because of what we just talked about.
I was watching highlights, and then I saw Coach Rule talking about the things that they've been been working on and focused on and stuff like that. And so I when we were talking about the shit list, I was like, who's not on that, or who's getting off the shit list, who's getting wiped.
Yeah, who's actually getting wiped on the toilet paper and thrown into the toilet instead of hanging in your ass?
That's flushed.
Yeah. All right, NFL, college football is done. We will be back next week. NFL. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a deep discussion. We got about 30 minutes for it. So 4, 5, and 6. Week 4, 5, and 6. Sorry for not talking about the past 2 weeks, but we're gonna go through the divisions. We'll start with the easiest division, the AFC East. There ain't much to talk about. The Dolphins are still winless. They played the Redskins today.
They took the Tank Bowl.
And, the most possible game to end in a 0-0 tie, it was 7-3 at halftime. And you thought it was going to be that. But the Dolphins tried to go for the win at the end of the game. And they didn't get it on the 2-point conversion. And the Redskins get their first win by 1 point after the firing of Jay Gruden as their head coach.
Ouch.
After Jay Gruden leads them to it.
That shit had to hurt, though.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm sure that Redskin fans were happy to see him go because he hasn't produced anything.
I think in many ways you're right. I do.
An 0-5 start, you gotta do something. Even though I don't think it is Jay Gruden's fault. I think it is Dan Snyder's fault.
It's just not all his fault.
I know. I think a lot of it is Dan Snyder's fault and not allowing the team to be, a friendly environment. I think a lot of people don't like the environment that is up there, and I think it starts at the very top with Dan Snyder.
Yeah, AFC East, I really like Buffalo. I still think they're a sleeper out there. They're off this week.
They're easily a wild card team, no question.
They held tight with the Pats. The Pats still look strong.
It was the toughest game for the Pats.
The Patriots, their offense looks like it's in some sort of transition kind of thing. And I think a lot of that has to do with the tight end shit. And Gronkowski, the whole 9 yards. But the one team I don't think you can sleep on now that freaking Sam Darnold is healthy is probably the Jets. Because they
got a lot of catching up to do, though.
I get all that, but that doesn't mean they can't sneak up on teams headed for the playoffs and bite them in the rear.
Well, guess who they're going to play this week?
Yeah, they're going to
play Patriots.
They're going to play the Patriots.
It wouldn't surprise me
if Le'Veon Bell gashed him for some serious yardage.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Well, and Sam Darnold had a couple of nice throws. Now, granted, the secondary of the Patriots
it's been very stellar.
Yes.
It has. And not even just that, their front seven is also pretty damn good. Let's say the whole defense. How about that?
Well, you can say that, but in the same breath, that front seven, having been the assistant to the defensive line coach at JMU, that front seven creating pressure and doing things takes pressure off the secondary, and then they can play their spot.
The key to winning a game, in my mind, after being a part of a team that constantly, and I mean constantly, makes your offensive linemen get in your quarterback's face, is such it is harassment, honestly, and it can make a quarterback mad.
Right.
Because if you can constantly knock the quarterback down and get in his face and sack him constantly, it ruins the mojo. It does.
We've talked about that before in numerous games. Sometimes a knockdown, just being pressured, stepping up, being forced to run, throw the ball out of bounds. Not necessarily that sack, but all of the pressure that leads to frustration in quarterback, and the next thing you know, he's throwing it to one of your secondary guys, and then you've got an edge, and then your team takes over.
That was the thing that we thrived on at JMU.
Right. And I can see that. But so I'm not completely wiped out with the Jets. They look sucky early, but Sam Darnold was sick. I mean, the freaking kid had mono. It's not like he was out there playing and part of the suckiness, but it is what it is.
Hey, but they got to win today against Dallas now.
Yeah.
And we'll get to the NFC East here in a sec.
All right, AFC North.
AFC North, Baltimore's overrated. This division is not that high.
Right.
Cleveland lost today.
Yeah.
And they were up.
They were up.
They are just such a They're just a bad football team, man.
They had terrible support. They would be a terrible jockstrap. If they were a jockstrap, they'd be a freaking low-hanging one. Your nuts would be dragging on the ground.
And they would rip in one fucking hit. That's what would happen. The Browns just look bad.
I'm not sold on the Browns, and everybody freaking hyped them up before the season.
What, you beat the fucking Ravens? Whoop-de-doo. The Ravens only beat hurt.
Let's get it out there. Cincinnati is just as bad as Miami. They're just bad right now.
They're 0-6, and it's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, they're injured,
battling.
man.
They're battling injuries,
Oh,
and that means a lot. Hey, I'm dealing with it now. In my world, even at the high school level, we're battling injuries, and it's terrible when you have 4, 5, 6 starters who have been affected by injury. We've gotten one of them back. That's it.
And tonight, the Steelers will play the Chargers with the third-string quarterback, Delvin Duck Hodges. Broke all the FCS passing records, and it's crazy for Delvin Hodges. I'm glad to see him. He looked confident in freaking against Baltimore when he came in.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that Juju fumbled the ball. I love you, Juju. I'm not going to say anything about that.
What are you calling him?
What?
What are you calling him?
Juju?
Oh, I thought that was you.
No, that's no.
No?
But Baltimore is.
He's got money.
Yeah, I know. Juju. No, excuse me. The Ravens are overrated. Honestly, they have beaten teams that. Guess who they beaten? Cincinnati, Miami, and Arizona.
Wow.
Oh no.
And they
Call
showed
off
out
the
against
Cavalry.
them. Yeah.
And guess you beat Pittsburgh by 3 points, thanks to some very questionable calls. Yeah. And I'm going to get into that. Do you have anything else to say on the AFC North?
You know, I'm glad Cleveland has taken it on the chin. I was just they were anointed as a playoff team before they deserved it, and now Baker Mayfield. Everybody's talked about him. I wanted him to be better. I thought he was better, and right now he's just not.
Before they came into the season here, people. The Cleveland Browns in 3 seasons had won 8 games.
Yeah.
And you want to anoint this team as a fucking Super Bowl champion?
Well, I think think they got some serious talent. Guys like, Odell Beckham.
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, they got
Myles Garrett. You got Olivier Vernon on your defense. You got a lot of great players. But you have to go out and play every single Sunday, play every single down, and you cannot anoint yourself as the freaking Super Bowl champion.
Well, I think somebody wanted to give him something, and they are 2-4, but he turned the ball over 4 times today. They turned the ball over 4 times.
I know, because Baker Mayfield is throwing it into some bad situations.
The percentages of you winning at 4 turnovers is freaking like 90% loss.
Yep.
So you go -4 in the turnover game, and you're not going to win.
And you're not the Patriots. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, but what
AFC South.
Real quick, the thing I wanted to say about why I'm liking college football right now more than the NFL is really, it's not the refs, okay? I don't want to say it's the refs, but I want to say that it is the slowing of the game. These penalties, these fucking reviews, these unnecessary reviews that wouldn't have happened if you just called the right penalty on the freaking Rams. If you just called it right, none of this would have happened. But it is so bad because people are getting pissed now at the NFL because there's no consistency in these rulings for pass interference. There isn't. Okay? There have been so many challenge flags thrown for pass interference or non-pass interference, and guess what? There's been 2 that have been overturned because in my mind, I look at it like this. Al Riveron, who is the head of NFL officiating in New York, he is the guy who sits on all the monitors with his crew and basically decides, yeah, you need to overturn this, or no, you don't overturn this. And guess what? I really think that this guy thinks of his refs as stand-up human beings and says they don't deserve to get their feelings hurt. You made a mistake. Oh, well, stay with what you called on the field. Yeah. Why the fuck did you allow this to happen then? There's no consistency with the ruling here, man.
It's
frustrating.
I get all that. And you and I have gone back and forth with this, but it smacks into the face to me with all of these reviews and all of these things. when the game of football was designed, it was never designed for electronics. It just wasn't. There was a human factor involved. And I'm sorry, believe it or not, we're flawed. And when we make mistakes, we make mistakes. But that's part of the game.
It is.
We want, I think.
Refs are not perfect.
Exactly. And I think the vast majority of people want the game to be perfect. They want it to be. They want to involve these things. And to me, that's not always the best thing. There is a human factor in the game. I'm sorry, but if you didn't actually see where the ball hit the ground when the guy fumbled and his knee was down or his elbow and all this shit, and you want to blame the ref for not overturning the fumble, how about blaming the player for actually fumbling the ball? How about all of these other factors that involve? Why don't they penalize the team for having a guy who drops the ball? 5-yard penalty for dropping the ball.
But
you drop the ball. You know what I mean? That's a human factor. That's a human error.
I get that, but when there is clear, distinct evidence
did
not happen.
I know, but the only way you have that is because there is a camera on it. There is a camera watching it. And it wasn't designed to be that way. It was designed to be played, and there was a human factor, and that's the way the game was.
Okay.
The result was the result.
But now
you don't have to like it, but that's what it is.
But now it's excuse me, God. But now it is because of the refs in the New Orleans Saints versus Los Angeles Rams game that we are in this state, okay? Because they missed a clear cut and dry pass interference, and even helmet-to-helmet contact, personal foul.
I don't disagree with that particular play.
And
but there are a lot of other things that are missed that, well, quite frankly, they're supposed to be missed because a human being was watching.
Okay, but now that we have cameras and there is reviews, why is it not overturned?
Because there are humans watching the camera, and we are flawed. You understand what I'm saying?
We're a bunch of bitches, honestly, because we don't want to get our feelings hurt.
I'm just telling you.
You make a mistake, ref. Okay.
All I'm saying is that there is interpretation, even though it's on camera. It's interpreted whatever way.
Okay, but
and then when you watch it in full speed, when you watch it at human speed, you don't see it the same way. We have the luxury of watching it on instant replay on a jumbotron that runs from 30-yard line to 30-yard line, like the one in Dallas, and they're massive freaking 4K digital down. I can see the freaking hairs on his face, clarity. And they still don't get it right.
But now you're getting situations where refs are basically fucking up the calls, and they have this eye for an eye thing where they fuck up one call. Okay, well, we fucked up that one call, so we have to fuck up another call for this other team. Because that does happen. Yeah, it does happen.
I fully believe in the laws of you owe me one.
Exactly. That does happen. And you'll hear it from Dean Blandino, who comes on the freaking headset with Jim Nantz and all the Fox guys.
That's why Gene Steratore should never have left the game, damn it.
Exactly, because those guys, they're like, I don't know why that is called a penalty, because there is no clear contact of that. And even showing on the replay, this should be overturned. This should be overturned. This should be overturned. And then it goes, the call on the field stands, and Gene goes, I don't know why this was not overturned. There is clear contact. There is clearly no contact to allow.
I vote Gene Steratore for official all time.
I agree with it too. Ahead of Ed Hockley right now, okay? But another fact is that now there is so much
Hockley officials group?
Yeah, big muscles and all.
Has to explain every single ruling. Make it a company, and they're all trained by
Hockley Incorporated.
Right. Hockley and Steratore.
Only big muscles allowed must explain everything in detail.
Officials at law.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Make it a new law firm.
Another thing, though, is that there's a lot more offensive pass interference now that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Offensive pass interference for the past couple of years has not been that prevalent, and now we're seeing it more and more often now.
I don't know if it's so much pass interference as much as I see a lot of defensive holding, which is a PI kind of call, but a lot of holding, a lot of that. And I think that there's an emphasis on the officials looking at that.
That even
and
comes,
they come to the game ready for that. Hey, don't allow that freaking that whole 5-yard rule thing. And we see that, and And because it's a human game, a lot of times it's missed.
All right,
And,
let's move on to the
I don't know
AFC
that we're going to
South.
solve it. I don't know.
It's never going to get resolved, and it's just going to get more and more frustrating until Roger Goodell steps in and says, look, you guys are fucking up, and this is making our ratings go down hugely.
What do you think I should do, Mr. Kraft?
What did you do to that prostitute? Is that going to solve our problems? Okay, I'll be right back.
Does she have an older sister?
On to, what was it, the AFC South?
AFC South, I want to like Houston. I really want to like Houston, but I want to love Indianapolis.
I want to love Houston as well, and I'm going to love Houston because I've loved Deshaun Watson ever since he was in college.
He's a baller.
He is one of those
I like Jacoby
quarterbacks.
Brissett. I like those two together. I like both of those guys. I like Frank Reich as the coach, though.
Yeah, he's able to. He knew that once he saw that Andrew Luck went away, his offense didn't falter. Right. His offense stayed intact because he was able to work under Doug Peterson and have a good enough offense to say, like, look, hey, we had Carson Wentz this season. Bam, we got Nick Foles for the playoffs. So we need to be able to change up this offense to fit his needs. And look what has happened. Andrew Luck goes away. Jacoby Brissett needs to start for week 1. Bam, we got an offense ready for him.
Yeah.
We have exactly what we need. Perfect representation of why they won the Super Bowl that year when he was with Philly. Jacksonville, though, on the other hand, they lost to New Orleans today. You could say whatever you want. I like Gardner Minshew because of his mustache, but he's fucking overrated.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's no more overrated than freaking Marcus Mariota, who put up a big fat goose egg today. So, I want Tennessee to be good because I like their coach.
Oh, I love Mike Vrabel.
I like Vrabel.
He's
I like
a football guy.
Yeah, he is a football. He's a player's coach. He's a football player. And he brings that mentality to his team, and they're not performing where they need to be. Not to mention, I like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's just fucking beast mode for me. I just wish he could play on a better team.
And the AFC South it's up for grabs, honestly, because I think that Indianapolis can still beat Houston, and I think that Houston could beat Indianapolis. Yeah. It's up for grabs. And who's the final division?
AFC West. Got to be the Chiefs. Got to be the Chiefs. The Chiefs struggled today. They struggled today, but, they're still
a lot of bad divisions in the AFC right now.
They're still clearly the lead in that division. Oakland's just not there. Oakland's 3-2. They're just not there. The Chargers, who played in the AFC Championship last year,
divisional round, but
divisional round, are 2-3. You know what I mean?
And they lost to the Vic Fangio-led Broncos, who are a struggling
Denver.
team.
Well, Denver came on today, and they got another win today.
Two in a row for them. How about that?
They shut out the freaking Titans.
We just talked about them.
They shut out the Titans 16-0.
The Titans are like my shits. It's either going to be a one wiper, or it's going to be a freaking I'm going to be here a while. That's what they're like. They're not even consistent.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating, just like my shits. I
disagree, yeah.
All right, NFC time.
East.
Toss-up. Oh, boy. Well, the Redskins are not a toss-up, I can tell you that.
And neither are the Giants.
And neither are the Cowboys. And neither are the Eagles.
You look at them, they are all separated by a game. Except minus the Skins.
The Eagles played very bad today against Minnesota, especially they gave up 4 touchdowns to Kirk Cousins.
Whose cousin?
Kirk's.
Oh, Kirk's.
Yeah, Kirk's. Cousin. He threw 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Stephon Diggs for huge bombs.
That cat can play, though.
They can play. Their receiving core can. Adam Thielen can as well. But they looked bad on defense today.
Yeah.
And the Eagles, they looked good against I don't get it. They looked good against Green Bay, who beat Minnesota, and they lose to Minnesota. It's just, that shit shouldn't happen. And then, Dallas, oh boy, we're 3-0. We beat the Redskins, the Dolphins, and the Giants. We're going to the Super Bowl. Pack your bags. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Check my ring size, boy.
It's like the Tom Landry years up in here.
It's going to be a Texas-sized ring around the collar.
Might get a picture with Ed Too Tall Jones because I'm that good. And Troy Aikman.
Was big though. Ed Too Tall Jones was.
That's why he was called Too Tall.
Right.
And they're
Giants.
They just lost to the 0-4 Jets.
I like Daniel Jones. I like him. He's a baller. They played the wrong team at the wrong time. They played the Patriots, and the Patriots showed him what for.
Yeah, he faced a very good defense, and he did not.
And then
produce.
Washington's just not there, and they're a team in flux. I'm sorry, they're going to draft well. Hopefully, they can coach well. They can get a coach.
Well, clearly now the head front runner for them is Mike Tomlin of the Steelers. Apparently,
I don't see that.
And
myself.
that ain't gonna happen.
No, I don't see that.
The culture change between Washington and freaking Pittsburgh is night and day.
Yeah.
Since 1969, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 head coaches: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and fucking Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Okay. The Washington Redskins, since Dan Snyder has taken over the team,
they've had
5? 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And Joe Gibbs was brought back like twice, apparently. So, like, it doesn't seem right. I don't care if he's from – it's cool that he's from Virginia. Hey, so are we. But the culture change, you got to be able to give this man a lot of money if he wants to come back.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does. I really don't think he does.
Cower Power in D.C.
What?
Cower Power.
No, he hasn't. If he hasn't come back yet, he's never going to do it.
No way. His beard is gray. There's no way he's going to be sitting behind a desk talking football for NBC Sports or whoever the hell he does it for.
It's CBS. He does it for CBS.
Whatever.
All right.
No one cares.
NFC South.
NFC South. New Orleans, clearly head and shoulders above everybody.
Head and shoulders. Carolina is showing some life, though.
Yeah.
They are.
That young quarterback they got, you think freaking Cam Newton's going to get his job back?
I don't know, man. I really don't think so. They're winning without him. They are.
Yeah.
It's hard to put him back into
that.
that.
But he can wear his stupid suits and hats and freaking chew his gum.
Jameis Winston threw 5 interceptions today against Carolina in London.
You do not know how happy that makes me feel. You don't even know. Did they give him a free basket of freaking crab legs for that?
It might be a 5-finger crab leg. I don't know. But no, they didn't. Jameis Winston looks just bad. And Bruce Arians, it sucks that he has him as his quarterback because Bruce Arians is a good coach.
Bruce Arians is the quarterback whisperer. He needs to be the quarterback freaking screaming maniac.
Yeah, it's no longer whispering. It's get your shit together.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you try to coach a kid up. You try to get him to do the right thing. Now you're in the NFL. You're in the NFL, which stands for, according to Jerry Glanville, not for long when you make choices like that. You can't continue to throw four or 5 picks.
On the line every single day.
And Jameis Winston, every year – double digit.
Sounds like you're getting mad about this and you can't even speak.
I'm not upset about it. I have a smile on my face, wondering how long he's going to keep his job before he blows all his money and starts going to crab legs.
Who's the last? Oh, the Falcons. They are my warm.
We're not dumping warm beer on anybody until we get to NFC North.
No, my warm beer is on the Falcons because the Falcons are that team that.
Golly, are they spiraling?
Just a couple years ago, went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know.
And choked it away. And ever since then, they've
just been dreadful.
Nothing.
They've been dreadful.
Nothing. They beat a Philly team that has been injured, and that's it. That's all they beat.
They're 1-5. I just expected more out of them.
I think Dan Quinn's going to get fired.
He could very well lose his job.
I really think he's going to get fired in the middle of the season.
2 years removed from the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And this is the egg that they've laid.
It happened to Jim Harbaugh. Okay? So don't forget about that. It can happen to anybody. Your job is on the line
West.
Every single day. The NFC West, my new favorite team right now in the NFL is the San Francisco 49ers. And it is because of 2 people. Jimmy Garoppolo and Mr. WWE George Kittle, because
no, Kyle Shanahan, not the guy.
No, but it's George Kittle,
not the architect.
Fucking awesome. I just love him because he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Was just a quarterback under Tom Brady.
I told you 2 weeks ago when he was my hops of the week, just getting back onto the field, feel good stories again. I don't know. I think he's a phenomenal guy.
And guess who still are the 2 undefeated teams in the NFL? The New England Patriots and the San Francisco 49ers. They're the 2 remaining undefeated team still in the NFL. And my done chain, I'm going to do another dump the warm beer on is the Los Angeles Rams. Because last year...
Wow, how the mighty have fallen, huh?
Yeah, you're damn right. Last year, they were the team to beat. They go to the Super Bowl, they play against the Patriots, and they score 3 points. And ever since then, they've lost to Tampa Bay. They've lost to San Francisco. By the way, it was at home, and it was a sea of red. There were more 49er fans there. That shows what people have their priorities in L.A.
Yeah.
And the Rams just look terrible right now.
Yeah.
They do.
They're struggling.
And guess what?
Struggling
it's a
big
tough
time.
division in the West, actually, because guess who I think is going to be the wild card?
Seattle.
They're going to be the wild card.
Yep. They were down, 20-3 at one point, 20 to 7
to 6 or something like that.
Yeah, they were getting drubbed by the Browns, and then out of nowhere, they freaking just put the gas pedal down.
Exactly, yep.
You know, that's Russell Wilson. That guy's a freaking
He could
baller.
be the MVP right now because
damn,
he's playing so good.
He just
has
freaking
no
plays.
interceptions through 6 games in the season.
Kyler Murray with 2 wins under his belt.
Yep. The Cardinals, they finally get another win. As I said on my warm beer Falcons, they get another win because Matt Bryan missed the extra point to tie the game up at the end of the game. So the Falcons go to 1-5, and right now Kyler Murray has 2 wins under his belt.
Yeah.
I like Kyler Murray. I hope he continues to play at a high level.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing him play.
I would, he's exciting to watch play, and we'll see what happens with him. He had a big day. He had a big day today, and it's a breakout. Let's see, where's his stats line? 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 27 for 37 passing today. That's a good fucking day, buddy.
That's a stat line that you go, this guy had a pretty good fucking day today.
Yeah,
because there's stat lines where they win, and you're like
27 to 37, 340 and 3 touchdowns. You had a damn good day.
Yeah. All right. Who's
and then finally, my favorite
North
division in all of football, because it is the roots and the history of football, the black and blue division.
Here we go. All right.
NFC North. Green Bay. Not a bad football team. Not a bad football team. You know who I don't think we should sleep on? Anybody should sleep on? Detroit Lions.
Really? Really, Detroit?
Yeah.
I just don't believe in that. It's just me.
Matt Patricia. They play spirited right now. When you look at what they do, they're 2-1-1, and they're healthy. So we'll see. We'll see. And it's a Matt Stafford run offense, and he can freaking sting you. It's not like he's freaking, Joe Schmo back there.
Well, he can be from time to time.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the Lions. They are the Joe Schmo of the NFL. They are.
Yeah. I get that. But right now, that's not what they are.
All right. Well, what do you got on your Bears?
And the Bears are disappointing. How they fell behind 17-0 last week to come ahead and go ahead 21-17, and only to choke later on with supposedly the best defense in football is astounding to me. So I'm not sold on my Bears. Would I love them to play better and to do well? Yeah, hell yeah. But right now, you're sitting at the bottom of the division at 3-2. They are. Now, granted, the Lions have not played. So they're on their bye week, and so are the Bears. So, it remains to be seen. But I think that's probably the division with the most parity in it. I think that you can go from Green Bay to Chicago in last place, and any one of those teams could beat anybody in the NFL right now. Any one of them.
I guess so, but back to the Lions. I don't know anyone on their defense. I can't name one player on their defense. That was just my only point.
Hey, there's been a history of the game with the no-name defense, so they're playing well.
The only undefeated team in NFL history started that tradition of the no-name defense, and one of their leaders, Nick Bonacati, just passed away a couple of weeks ago as well.
No, was it?
Nick Bonacati did.
Not a couple weeks ago. I thought it was like last year.
No, it happened like a couple weeks or a month ago. I don't know time.
Nick Bonacati, yeah.
Okay. So we're caught up on NFL football. We'll be back to normal next week, finally. Yeah. Hops of the week to end it off. We got about 12 minutes. Let's do this.
Told you so.
I told you so.
Dump the war beer on this team, Atlanta Falcons.
I said that already.
Stick a fork in him.
Seriously. Just don't even drink the beer because it's fucking ridiculous.
Warm beer's got to go on 2 teams for me. Got to be Cleveland, Cincinnati. And right now, I might be dumping just a little bit of warm beer on the freaking on the Bears because I expected way more out of them. I expected way more out of this team. Way more. From 13-3 to already having freaking 3 losses or 2 losses. Are you telling me they're going to win freaking,
10 more games to match their season last year?
At least.
I don't know.
I don't see that happening. And you're not going to do it with a backup, Chase Daniel. You're not going to do that. And until Trubisky gets his head out of his tail and learns to make Nagy's offense go, I got to spill a little bit of warm beer on my boys. Maybe that'll spark them. Maybe they're hearing this show and then they're like, hey, I can't let the coach down. I'm serious. I'm being serious.
Yeah, maybe. And Trubisky his shoulder will magically repair itself.
Yeah. Probably got a torn labrum.
All right, hops of the week. I'm actually just going to do one, but go ahead.
I got 3.
Okay, go right
ahead.
All
right, here we go. You started this, Devlin Hodges, FCS Samford University, winner of the Walton Payton.
That player.
He's the Walter Payton Award winner from last year in FCS football, most outstanding offensive player. He's going to get his shot tonight. I hope this kid freaking plays his tail off. I hope he gets it done.
I hope so too. As a Steelers fan,
I want him to get it done. And in light of that, I am so sick and tired of hearing about Colin Kaepernick and why the freaking Steelers didn't pick up freaking Colin Kaepernick. Instead, they decided to go with Hodges from Division I AA freaking Samford. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that had to happen, but it did. And I'm sick and tired of every team that has an injury that needs a backup or needs to do something more with their squad. Why some sort of freaking media outlet doesn't freaking jump on this Colin Kaepernick thing. I saw it today and I threw up a little bit in my mouth. And I'm like, so what? He made his bed. He's lying in it. Just stop. Enough with this. You are not going to change popular opinion. Just deal with it. The other hops of the week, my next hops of the week, are all these freaking idiot formation adjustments and penalties for offsides and illegal formations. I watched it today. I watched it yesterday in college football, and I'm living it in high school. How hard is it? I can understand our high school kids. I can understand that. I totally get how high school kids just freaking zone out. I mean, they're just not. But when you're in the NFL, you're playing at a Power 5 school or Division I freaking football team, and you line up wrong, you suck. You suck. It's just horrible. I watched it today 4 times. I watched Dallas line up wrong. I watched.
That's okay.
I watched freaking the Jets line up wrong.
That's okay.
Who else lined up wrong today? I watched it. It was like 4. Oh, the other 2 were in the Washington game, or not Washington game, with the freaking Jets and the freaking Dallas Cowboys. They lined up offsides twice, 2 times in a row on 2 snaps. How do you line up wrong? You're in the NFL, dude. How do you not fucking line up the right way? That just drove me nuts. And I'm like, we argue about this whole issue of cameras and correcting pass interference and all this stuff. Well, what about the dumb shit like lining up offsides? And then Colin Kaepernick and all that bullshit. Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to get any political rant here and all that stuff. He made a decision, and it's cost him. So how does that even remotely link to Devlin Hodges and his opportunity to start? Are you saying that a guy as quality as Devlin Hodges doesn't deserve to stand on the field? Everybody, and I read an article about this cat, everybody who's ever crossed paths with this kid Hodges thinks he's a great kid. He's a phenomenal kid. He does everything. He excels. He works his tail off. He tries to perfect his craft. What's fucking wrong with that when you want to freaking put Colin Kaepernick in there? Why not giving this kid, undrafted rookie? I don't get it. I mean, And he won the award named after the greatest player in the history of our game, Walter Payton. That's why they call it the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. And that the highest award given to a college player in the FCS is the Walter Payton Award. So I'm sorry, but Colin Kaepernick can take a back seat to Devlin Hodges. I don't care if Hodges throws freaking 10 interceptions tonight. He deserves his shit. I don't,
Easy
there. Well, no, not 10. I don't care if he throws 2. He deserves his shot. He just does. He just deserves a shot. And then finally, my last hop of the week, I was going to save it until next week because I was a little excited. But I'm a little excited for Modern Warfare coming out on PlayStation.
It's not
the new game. It's out the 25th.
Yeah, so that's
I ordered
weeks.
it for freaking Xbox. I need to cancel that. You have to show me how to do that. I need to cancel my order if I can, my pre-order.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I need to cancel that shit because I want to get it. I got a new PlayStation, and I want to get it for PlayStation rather than for Xbox.
Okay, well, I'll see what I can do.
But those are my hops of the week. Modern Warfare, I can't wait. I'm excited. Supposed to be, they were talking about Battle Royale 100 on 100, I read.
I don't know about that one, Chief, but
I heard about Battle Royale with 100 players versus 100 players.
Yikes.
And Kaepernick takes a back seat to my boy Devlin Hodges, and I don't even know him, and I haven't seen anything about this kid. I'm just excited the fact that he represents Walter Payton in the NFL now, and he should get his shot. And then all these nitwits that are being paid multi-million dollars, many hundreds of thousands, if not, are lining up wrong. And just, I don't know. The freaking Dallas Cowboys receiver covered over freaking Jason Witten. They had an illegal formation, and on the next play they should have freaking had a touchdown. But no, they were off. Somebody else was offsides, and it was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Line up the right way. You're paid a lot of money to pay attention to that
you've
shit.
done enough talking.
I know. Well, I'm sorry, but I just get upset about shit like that.
I got one. We got about 5 minutes left. It's actually a funny
Oh,
one.
see ya. Gotta go now. Bye.
It's about 5 minutes left. I got one. It's a funny one. I talked about people last week and how they're pure human fucking scum and pure human garbage.
Really?
Well, this week is about a human that has excelled in the game of football and had a statue named after him, and that name is Dick Butkus. He had a statue in his name. How great
was his interview?
at Illinois, where he played college ball, and of course one of the best linebackers to ever play the game at the highest level in the NFL. Yeah. He gave a press conference, and they interviewed him, and he was a little emotional. And he had this great line to say, I had a good time of kicking the shit out of other people. It was fucking fun. He said cuss words right in the middle of the interview, and I couldn't help but smile awesome. Because that's the mentality that he had. I'm trying
to pull it up so we can put it on here really good. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, he's not afraid to say what he believes. Dick Butkus played in an era where that stuff was actually allowed. It was more happy. Like Dick Butkus, one of the best to ever do it. And he had a statue enshrined in his honor at Illinois. Yeah. So it was great to see that. That was my only one because Dick Butkus is the man, and I'm glad to see it. So did you find it?
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I'm sure we have it. I'm sure we can bring it up. And it's hanging up on me. This son of a bitches.
Have you found anything?
No.
You can find it. Just look it up on YouTube or on
I'm on
Twitter.
YouTube.
Just look it up on Twitter. The Dick Butkus interview. You can't miss it. But any other last words, Coach, before we wrap it up?
No.
Because Sunday Night Football is coming up, and I need to watch my Steelers.
Let me give me 2 seconds. Say something else. Sorry.
Well, I will say this. I did finish my beer, Star Hill Brewery, the Love Wheat beer. I hope you guys go check it out, and as well as Fancy Clancy, a Scotchin Brewery right here in Winchester, Virginia. That was the Pub Talk All-Stars segment for us today. And have you found anything yet, Coach?
No, I'm sorry, dude.
Okay, well, I'm done rambling about.
I'm trying to find it. I wish I could fucking find it.
Well, like I said, crazy. Go look it up on YouTube or Twitter and see if you can find it. You will laugh your ass off. But that looks like it's going to be all for us today. Any final words, Coach?
I'm afraid not.
Stop looking for the damn video. It's okay.
I'm looking for it. I'm sorry. No, yeah, I think it was a good show. I think we made our points. We made up for a lot of lost time.
The experts have spoken, if you want to call us experts. But that is going to do it all for us today. Thank you to Route 11 Chips. We love you as a sponsor. As I said before, Star Hill Brewery, the Love Wheat Beer versus Fancy Clancy from Escutcheon Brewery. We hope you guys have a safe week. Enjoy life. If you ever have a tough time, just sit down, have a cold one. It always takes the pain away. But we hope you have a good, safe week. Enjoy life. And as always, peace out, guys. Love you.